Hello, everybody. Dimitri Panos here with another episode of KDM. K standing for Kit, my good friend and colleague and movie reviewer. Hi, Kit. How are
Hi,
you?
and the D stands for Dimitri, who's also a movie reviewer and critic.
Yes, but you notice how she doesn't say good friend and colleague because
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
just
good friend and
no.
colleague.
I
Best
have to
best
beg
of
for that.
buds. Best of buds.
So, yes, and the M stands for movies because that's what Kit and I do. Well, we talk movies. We also talk about a lot of other things, but for this show, we talk movies. And hopefully, you have liked and clicked subscribe and maybe even commented. Dare I say, maybe you're even obsessed with our show. I wish you might be, or do I? Why do I say that? Because today's movie that we will be talking to you about is the new horror movie called Obsession. It opened in previews last night, and that's where Kit and I got to go see it. Unfortunately, we didn't see this one together, albeit I would have loved to have sat next to Kit on this one. I think
Yes.
I might have had some bruised arms, to
Well, see,
say
I,
the
I, I
least.
saw I saw a couple things about to happen I didn't watch, so I was like this. I go, I
so,
know, I know she's gonna just pop up.
well, yeah, and what's something, and I don't think I'm not talking out of turn here. Kit, albeit she does like the horror genre, she's not into the slasher subgenre of horror.
You
So
got it.
and I had seen this movie prior to her seeing it. I know she was kind of on the fence, but this is not a slasher film. It is more of a horror. It's a very it's a Twilight Zone movie in a
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
We've seen this Make a Wish thing gone bad before, but it is a very dark Twilight Zone. So, Kit, what we talked briefly before you saw the movie.
Yes.
What did you think of
Well, just to
Obsession?
let you guys know, there will be some spoilers. Sorry, we got to talk about a few
Oh,
of them here,
yes.
I
Yeah,
think.
we do have
So,
to talk about spoilers.
if you
Yes,
haven't
yes,
seen it
yes.
yet, don't, turn off now and come back and listen to our commentary afterwards. But yeah, there's a couple of spoilery things that,
That have to be talked
that
about.
have to be talked about. Um,
Yes.
well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, as much as you can enjoy something like this. I mean, enjoy is
Hmm.
a kind of a I was in it, and the audience I saw it with, it was pretty packed theater, to be honest. They were totally into it too. So, the premise is, we're in, Anytown, USA. I'm not even sure where they were.
I'm not either.
And they're all 20 somethings basically, working at this store together, this music store, and the one guy, Bear, um,
Air.
Bear. He played, but what's the guy? What's the actor's name? Michael Johnston.
Michael Johnston.
Yeah. He has a huge, huge crush on one of his coworkers, Nikki, played by the very good Indy Navarrete.
Navarrete. Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Navarrete? I just say Navarrete.
Yeah.
But I agree
I
with
don't
you.
know.
She's
I
awesome.
I could she was
We'll
really
talk more
good.
about
So
her.
yeah,
Mm.
anyway, huge crush on this woman, and she's very playful and very sweet and really likes him, but she pretty much just put him to a friend zone, and he's trying to break out of that, and he's got this whole like speech he's gonna give her and tell her how much he cares for her and thinks about her, blah blah blah. But he can't bring up the courage to do so. And that's always, those kinds of awkward sort of things. You're like, oh, just say it, just say it.
I know
Um,
it.
yeah. Well,
Yes.
he uh he ends up going to this like kind of quirky, crystal shop, and they have these things. It's called One Wish Willow, where you open it up and it plays this, it has this like little tune. And he's like looking at it.
Like a chime,
So
right?
after he, he's gonna give it to Nikki as a gift, but then after she kind of says, "Oh, do you like me?" And he says, "Well, like as a friend." He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, God damn," hitting himself in the head as she walks away. He's like, "Oh, fuck it." So he opens the things up and he says, "I wish Nikki would love me forever. Love me more than anybody else in the world." And he snaps the thing. And immediately, almost immediately, she becomes the, what would you call her? The obsessed Nikki in a way. She's kind
Yes.
of this poor girl is possessed by this, overwhelming sense of love for the guy, but also just all of the horrible things that go with being in love with someone, the insecurities, the jealousies, all of the kind of stuff that any normal person goes through in a relation, normal people go through in a relationship. But with her, it's heightened because of this curse. Basically, it's a curse, not so much a wish, but it's a curse.
Yeah.
And this actress, Cindy, she was so good. I mean, she really has to flip the switch. I mean, it starts off very sweet and they kind of have this really nice little thing going on and their friends are like, "Really? This is really happening?" They can't really understand it and embarrassed like in seventh heaven because he's finally gotten his wish. And but it just starts to her. Basically, I feel like it's eating her from the inside out. She's eroding as a normal person until she just becomes this horrifying, uh I guess message of insecurity or whatever, but it's like, and then all of a sudden she'll stop and she'll say, "God, what am I doing?" Or she'll say, "I'm sorry, I don't, why am I acting so weird?" And yeah. But
Right.
it's like they're lying. She's watching him from the corner of the room sleeping, and he wakes up and he's like, "What are you
That
doing,
scene.
Nikki?" She goes, "Oh, I'm just watching you sleep." And then she finally lays down next to him and he
She
tries to kind of sneak out of it. She goes, "Stay!" And she just
no.
screams at it, "Stay!" And he goes, so yeah. Of
Okay.
course,
Yeah.
things go
That
way off the rails. Way, way off the rails.
it gets
And
dark
yeah.
fast.
And the guy's trying to figure out if he can reverse this wish and basically whoever he ends up talking to that on the number on the box, the wish willow box, um says, "Yeah, dude, you can't you want to cancel it?" And he goes, "Yes, can I cancel it?" "No, you can't cancel it." He says, "You just said I could
Yeah.
cancel it." Finally he says, "The only thing you're going to break it is if you die." That's kind
Right.
of the end result sort of thing. So yeah, I was like we've been talking about this for the last couple of years and it's still holding true. Horror movies are getting more inventive and just unique and um you know they're really kind of delving into things that are just they're horrifying, but it's refreshing and I don't understand why it's just horror films. I mean, I know that there's a lot of films out there like and dramas and whatnot that do the same kind of taking risk, but for some reason the horror uh genre, I feel that filmmakers, and then this is Curry Baker who wrote and directed this.
Yeah.
um
Hmm.
you have they're taking
Curry
chances and they're
Barker.
they're going out there. They're really
Hmm.
there's a movie coming up that I really want to see too that's kind of weird and I don't know, I'm not entirely sure, called Back Rooms. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
But
Yep.
I'm just saying, I think like with weapons and just all of these movies that have been coming out with these horror films have just been really, really unique. And this was very
Yeah.
unique, but also relatable.
Yeah.
Obviously it's taking upon, like I just said, it's taking upon that crush turned possible romance turned horribly obsessed kind of thing that, under a normal situation can overwhelm you and whatnot. But when it's put into this context of a curse or so or whatnot, it just takes it up to the level. So yeah, I think,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, the guy was good too. I thought he was great, but really, what's powered it for me was
Oh,
was that actress's performance. She just,
yeah.
she's come out of nowhere, right? I don't really think she's done too much before this,
Both of
right?
them kind of have, and this is Corey Barker's,
Curry,
not Corey, Curry Barker's directorial debut from a theatrical
right?
standpoint. So we've got three very fresh faces here, and I couldn't agree with you more. Indy Navarrete is it's just
She's
to me she's
fantastic.
so fantastic that look, I'm not fooling myself. The Academy is never going to pay attention to this movie. But I will be singing this woman's praises
Me
all
too.
year, especially while I'm talking about horror movies this year. And we've got more coming up,
Yep.
and I'm sure there'll be some good ones. There'll probably be some bad ones, just the way movies can be, no matter the genre. But
But you agree with
she
me that
stands out. Yes.
this horror film genre has really taken a leap up,
Yes.
man.
A
Like
hundred percent.
overall.
A
It's
hundred
crazy.
percent. And this is a movie too. It be careful what you wish for. We've heard this a
Obviously.
thousand times, so
Thousand
many
times.
times that it's cliche. This movie just wipes away that word cliche and really makes it its own.
Mhm.
And and it's because of, I believe, direction and the acting. You mentioned Michael Johnston, the character of Bear. Now, at the very beginning of the movie, he kind of was annoying, and the movie was leaning into. We've seen comedies this way, romantic
Yes.
comedies and such. The awkward uncomfortableness
Yes.
that they lean into, and that's what it was. It was uncomfortable to watch this kid like just flail, when the scene you described earlier, he's dropping her off and she looks at him and goes, "Do you like me?" And it was that point that I felt, number one, I actually believe that the two of them had some semblance of a
Oh,
connection,
absolutely.
right? And I also believe that had he had some more self-confidence in him, that they very well could have been a couple. I believe that she liked him.
Yeah.
And I believe she noticed him struggling all this time, and they'd been childhood friends. And I
Yeah.
believe she just said, "I'm going to open the door for you to walk through it for me." Like, I did not believe that she would have put him down
Right.
had he had the confidence in himself to say, "I've liked you since the day we met when we were kids and we, did whatever." That was such an uncomfortable scene.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like, right?
Yes.
And
Because,
the
he had
way it
been
was
telling
like,
his best friend, "Oh, I'm going to tell her tonight." And his best friend's like, "Hey, what can you wait?" Blah, blah, blah. We come to know why he wanted the guy not, the best friend was sort of having a little dalliance with Nikki.
right,
So, but yeah, anyway,
right.
but
And he was a jerk
he
too.
was
Let's
such a
face it.
jerk.
Like,
But he was
they
like,
were having conversation and he cock blocked them. Like,
yeah,
literally, he was about to tell her something at the bar, and he shows up, and you
yeah,
realize it was on purpose.
yeah,
And then it was the other girl that was there too,
yeah,
who played Sarah, Megan Lawless, who's
yeah,
I felt also very good.
yes,
And so it was like these four people, and they all seemed to, prior to the wish, in one way, shape, or form, they cared for Bear, you know.
yep,
And then he makes the wish, and we see Nikki again. There were so many, and this is where I loved Barker's direction.
yes,
We see her go into the house. He makes the wish. He looks out the window, and all we see is her in darkness, but we see her outline. She's at her porch.
yep,
And you're like, oh. And then she comes up to the car, and things
yeah,
begin, let's say. They're off to the races.
yeah.
I appreciate the
Actually,
movie. The horror was Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the actress India Navar. She was actually in Superman and Lois, so she has had done some stuff before, but I've not seen her before, so she was a
Yeah,
fresh face for
to
me.
me,
Yeah.
she's a fresh fan. Yeah, she's very much the both, and that's another thing that horror is able to get away with
Yes.
is fresh faces, is
Yes.
putting in actors that we're not familiar with. And I think that's another reason, Kit, that horror can work because we're not looking at stars. You know,
Right.
we are really relying on a good director, a good story, don't get me wrong, but we're not like we're seeing these fresh faces act and like for the first time, so we don't have a preconception of who they are, and their performances really shine. And like I said, this Michael Johnston, who was quirky and very uncomfortable, and I was like, oh man, he's kind of leaning into this too much. But once he makes that wish,
Yeah.
then you turn around and kind of like empathize with the dummy. It's like, oh, what did you do? And she turns as well. And man, she is so creepy. That other scene that you described, I'm
Oh,
watching you sleep. And again, it's like, why are you moving so funny? You don't know. I mean, it was crazy. And then the movie could make you laugh. I wouldn't
oh
call
yeah.
this a dark comedy, though. I think it's
No, no.
far more a horror movie and
Yeah.
far darker. But it had moments that made me laugh out loud.
Yep.
And but then it would make you stop and go, what? The scene at the party? And
That was wild.
yeah, so we're gonna just so let's talk about this scene. There's a party, and there was a question, and the party was sold as like a guys' night out, and Bear was trying to figure out a way, like, how do I tell obsessed Nikki, I'm just gonna go out to guys' night, and she's like, oh well, let me shower and get ready, and he's like, well, it's sort of a
Well, wait a
guys'
minute.
night, and
Let's set up why she has to shower. She's been
oh
standing in the
Jesus,
same
yeah,
place waiting for him to come back home, and she's thrown up on herself and pooped everywhere and peed, and
yeah, it was.
she's
That's and the look on her face when we back up when he leaves and that smile that
yeah.
she has, like, and again, she pulls it off.
Oh
Like
man,
she
she's so
this is
good.
how
She was so
fantastic she
good.
is. They end up going to the party together, and we learn that there are, in fact, other women at this party. And four of them are playing a game of Jenga, but there's an additional rule apparently where something's written on the block that you take off, and you have to read it and then like do what it says.
Right.
We Nikki draws a block, and she never reads what her block says, but she
She
gets
doesn't.
up
And she's a
and
writer. She's a wannabe
she's
writer.
a writer. Yeah,
Yeah, Nikki wants to
she
be a writer.
she writes something that like just it's a it's it oh, needle scratch like every it stops the party because everybody starts, and it is like so crazy. And she goes, yeah, I just wrote that. I don't mean it though, do I?
I'm
And it
just
was
kidding.
so, I'm just kidding, everybody. And you're like
That's how
going,
she blows up everybody. And yeah, and then Bear picks one that says you're supposed to kiss the person next to you, and it's Sarah, who's
it's
already
Sarah.
confessed has already confessed to Nikki that she had sort of feelings for him. So we kind of already know that she has a crush on Bear. And then she stands up and she's
Oh,
like,
she's and the frown face that she has. And then
and then
she
she pulls
walks,
her.
you know, but she walks around and goes behind Sarah, who's sitting down, and just waits there. Now, this is what I believe the genius of Curry Barker and the direction of this. They just let it hang there. And it's like, oh no, like this is,
Well, no,
oh my God, she's
I
gonna
knew
pound
from
her.
the I knew from the time Sarah put her head on his shoulder in the thing. Oh, she's doomed. She's doomed.
Oh, yeah, but I
She's
thought it
doomed.
was gonna happen there. I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna happen like, oh, it was like, oh no, this isn't good. This isn't good. And then she just pulls her chair back, and you're like, Oh boy. And she sits next to Bear.
I guess she,
And they kiss. Yeah. Oh my.
and they're all like,
Again, I am laughing, but at the same time, I'm terrified. Like it's so uncomfortable, and the scene is directed perfectly. Um, yeah, I just it was it got very dark,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
thank
I didn't
these performances.
I knew that one girl there that was not gonna end well for her. So and
Yes,
it
poor Sarah. Yeah, you kind of had a feeling in that scene. He does
yeah,
sneak
that's when
out.
I was like
Yeah,
this. I go, she's
yeah. I
gonna come
was
up on her.
wondering from which way it was going
So
to
you would have been
happen.
laughing at me. You would have been laughing at me
Oh
because I'd have
yeah,
been
it
like,
would have been great. Oh, it would have been great because I
too
was like
bad.
squirming too because the way it's set up
Yeah, he really does a
is
great job, Curry Barker. He does.
yeah,
He
and
he
ain't
he not with her performance and his direction, he created such, rich, deep, dark
atmosphere. Mhm.
atmosphere, and dread.
Yeah,
Dread is always good for a
dread.
horror film. You gotta be in
Oh
dread. You
yeah,
gotta
there
be in
was
dread.
dread.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was, yeah,
and
all the way around well done.
yeah, all very much well done. And again, there were scenes that are that were comedy, like
Yes.
and it worked when Bear goes to confront his friend. I'm trying to his friend Ian,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Look, man, you gotta make this wish for me. You gotta negate my wish and do this and do
And
this
who
and
would
like."
believe, who would believe you?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so he just like snaps the thing and goes, I wish for $1 billion. And all of a sudden, the thing crashes the roof. And it's like a dump truck of money. And you just sit there and going, okay, that's pretty funny. Like it sucks for Bear, but that's pretty funny.
But here's the
Like that was
ultimate.
funny.
I mean, I guess we can delve into a couple of themes real quick, but
Sure.
the
Yeah.
ultimate theme is love. So
Right.
he eventually knows he's got to make the ultimate sacrifice, because he's
Yes.
realized it's not the Nikki that he loved, right?
Yep.
Clearly, she becomes, another person. And so he's got to do something to let her go and live her life. He's not gonna try to kill her, or he's not gonna whatever. He's just gonna, release her in a way. And
Right.
then, yeah, at the very end, though, that was pretty horrifying too, because the whole culmination
Yeah.
of everything, and then she snaps out of it, and then oh my God, I mean, and it just kind of ends with her going
It
crying because she can't believe all
yeah.
the things that. Now, I'm wondering if she remembers everything. I guess she probably does. So she knows
Yeah.
everything that happened, maybe. I don't know, but
And it ends in this and this is where the Twilight Zone, it's very Twilight Zone is because this is totally the themes that you would get of be careful what you wish for. And I just loved the whole idea that she makes a wish and
yeah.
we know exactly what that wish is, and
Before
he
she
comes
gets, before she's broken from
right,
her original wish. Yeah.
correct,
So she,
and you're
as
going
crazy Nikki, as freaky Nikki. Well, let's just call her Freaky Nikki. She
freaky
doesn't.
Nikki, right.
She's Freaky Nikki. She tried, yeah, she makes
Freaky
a wish
Nikki.
for him to be in love with her. So he comes out, but he's already taken a bunch of sleeping pills. So yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah,
And you walk and he walks out and like just for a moment
yeah.
things are actually perfect for the two of them like and you're like whoa and then all and again it's laughable it's comedically ironic and irony can be very funny at times and it can be irony can be pretty ironic at times and yeah when she snaps again it's a snap and you just know oh yep she's Nikki and oh yeah how's
Yep,
she
he
gonna
just
explain
died.
this one yep and
Ugh,
man I just think that for me this is like a near perfect horror movie I like
pretty damn
I haven't
good.
stopped thinking about it
Me
and
too. I've been
I'm
thinking about
obsessed
it.
yeah
Yeah, I'd give it
And
a solid 5 stars. I didn't really have any issues with it
you know what?
whatsoever.
I'm giving it the five. I'm kind of obsessed with this movie. I'm obsessed with these actors. It's
Yep.
a movie that I would rewatch again now that I know where everything, all the pieces of the puzzle
Yep.
fall. And but again, you watch this movie and you realize, as Kit mentioned, horror is taking great risks and making things fresh when they're not. Because there was another horror comedy that came out last year that you and I loved, and we saw that when we saw it together, which was The Monkey,
Yeah.
right? And that one leaned into like it's like the gross kills and everything, which made it funny. Like that, I
Yeah.
could say is a dark comedy, right?
Right. But that
But
was
this
based on
year,
a Stephen King story.
yep,
So I mean, that was had an original. This,
mm-hmm,
was pure
right,
from the get-go, as was Weapons. So, and I
right.
forgot, is it Zach? Who's the one who directed?
Zach Kreger did The Mummy, wasn't it? Yeah, he did The
And he
Mummy,
did
which you
Wep
saw.
and then and
No, who did Weapons?
I thought it
Now
was
I
the
have to
same
look up
guy.
Weapons. Yeah, I forget
But
who did Weapons.
he started out doing, what was it? The another one that just surprised the hell out of me too.
Oh no,
Um,
Zach Kreger did
yes.
yeah, Zach Kreger, written and
Yeah.
directed by Zach Kreger, but who did The Mummy that just came out? It wasn't Zach Kreger then.
I don't know. But I'm
Yeah, the one
Barbarian.
that came out a
So
few with.
so Zach Krager
Yes.
came out of the gate with Barbarian, which was another really
Lee
weird.
Cronin's The Mummy. Yes.
Right. So I'm
It
just
was Lee
saying,
Cronin's.
Zach Krager had his sort of aha moment with Barbarian, which again was kind of weird,
Correct.
also very twisty. You didn't know where it was
Hmm.
gonna, how it sort of ended up was like crazy. And then he did
Right.
Weapons, which just got him all kinds of cred. So I have a feeling this, hopefully, Curry Barker will have, this was his aha moment, and then he'll continue on doing some cool stuff.
It's
But
a great calling card, and I think it's a great calling card for these actors. And I
yep,
think that, come on, Hollywood. You always you're always saying, "Oh, we're looking for fresh faces." Well, you have some,
let's do it.
especially yes, and this Miss Navarrete. I mean, utilize these people because they're excellent.
Yep,
And yeah, it's good stuff.
yep,
And again, horror is able to do this, and they because when they do it well, and the budget is going to be, the budget had to have been low,
really low. Yeah,
and yeah, I don't know. It'll probably end up in the top five.
it's
It
getting
opened
good
up,
buzz already, I think.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting great buzz. And I literally believe it to be, it's the movie that I'm going to compare every other horror movie that comes out after it, And I think it's the
yeah,
best thus far. I know you and I really enjoyed Send Help, if we can
yes,
call that a horror movie, but Send Help was also very good. We've had a
yep,
good year.
yep,
But
yep.
this is a movie that I will be talking about and will
So
be
yeah, I
talking
didn't
about.
see the Mummy though. You saw the Mummy, the Lee Cronin
Yes, I
one,
saw The
and
Mummy. It was better than I anticipated. It really does lean into the gore, and it was directed by the guy that did the most recent Evil Dead movie, the one that came
oh,
out a
okay,
few years ago, which I really enjoyed. Speaking of Evil Dead, there were aspects of this movie that reminded me of Evil Dead. I could say like it's Twilight Zone meets Evil Dead because I don't know what was going on with Nikki, but there were times that she reminded me of a Deadite.
yeah.
And
Well, I
it
saw a
was,
trailer. There's a new one coming up, right?
yes,
Yes.
Evil Dead Burn or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that trailer. But this movie stands on its own. And to your point, I believe it's fresh and it's original. And I was crazily entertained.
Yeah.
I laughed, but at the same time, man, I was cringing and waiting for the pop scare, the jump scare with the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, the music also. Good God, that music really set a tone
Yes.
in many, many a scene. And as you
Yes.
said, dread. It set a tone of
Yes.
dread.
It did. It did
So, yeah.
indeed. It did
So
indeed.
yes, if you are a
So,
horror fan, go see this movie and then
Absolutely. And
come
let us
back.
know what you think too, as well. Leave your
Yes,
comments below and then like and subscribe and hopefully you agree with our assessment of that. But definitely
hopefully.
definitely go see it. If you're
Yes.
even slightly intrigued, go.
Yeah, if
So,
you're a horror fan, I do not believe you'll dislike this movie in
mm-mm,
any way, shape, or form. And I think it balances even out like it's not relegated to just gore. It's
mm-mm.
not necessarily the movie's focus. It really is the focus about these two people and what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll find
Yeah.
yourself laughing when you're scared to death.
It's true. So
So,
everyone, thanks
um,
guys. Thanks,
yeah,
Dimitri. I
thanks
did
all.
I did wish we could have seen. I do like seeing horror movies with you. They're usually a lot of
Uh,
fun. But
this
maybe
one
the
would have
next one.
been, yeah, this one would have been, I think, a good one. I'm
Yep.
glad to have seen, you said your theater was crowded. I saw it at a 2 o'clock show. 2 o'clock, mind you, on a Thursday afternoon. And the theater was far more crowded than I would have ever thought that it
Yeah.
would have been. And the movie ended, and a lot of people just stayed in their seats going, what the?
Yeah. A lot of
So,
people laughed a lot in in my screening, my theater. They laughed and they definitely were enjoying it. You could tell. You could tell people. And then
yeah.
they clapped. There was people who did clap. So,
Yes. Yeah. Same here.
yep.
So
Yeah.
great.
All right.
Well, until
Okay,
our
thanks,
next
Steve.
movie, folks. Thank
Yeah,
you, Kit. It's great to see you as
Mandalorian,
always.
Mandalorian Grogu.
Mandalorian.
That's our
Yep.
next one up.
I'm looking
So
forward to it. Yeah.
we'll see.
All righty.
All
I
right,
will
take care.
catch up. I'll catch up with you later. Bye, guys. See
Bye,
you at the
everybody.
movies.